Hello, New Mexico, and welcome to this week's edition of Wealthy Living, brought to you by the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio are the founders, Shawn Kiehne and financial consultant Tyler Kiehne. We're so glad you're joining us today, and we want to kick off today's episode with a very important question for you, which is, when it comes to your taxes, are you looking at them through the rearview mirror or through the windshield of your retirement? We're going to explain what we mean by all that, but here's the reality. It is so important to make sure that you are engaging in strategic tax planning for your future, and that's something that the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement specializes in. So we're so glad you're joining us for this very important conversation. Shawn, Tyler, great to be here with you guys. What's going on in your world this week?
Hi, Kristen. Great to be here.
How you doing?
I'm doing
Always
well.
fun.
How
are your cats?
you? Oh, they're good. Yes, my two cats that love to make appearances when we have Zoom calls to plan for these shows, right?
It's okay. It's okay. We're pet friendly.
Yes, I know you are, and I appreciate it. Yes, so thank you for asking. All right, so tax planning. As we set up this conversation, this is something that really does set you guys apart in this space, because there's a lot of firms out there that won't even engage in the tax planning conversation with their clients, but you do. So to set the context for this, I would love for you to talk a little bit about the difference between tax preparation and what you specialize in, which is strategic tax planning.
Yeah, so we don't do tax prep. The way I look at tax prep is, remember when you were back in school and had to go up to your teacher's desk and hand in your final exam that if you were like me, you probably just crammed for that morning in the cafeteria 10 minutes before class started, right?
I was the opposite, but I knew folks who operated that way, yes.
Yeah, and so, you know, you hand in your test to the teacher. It is what it is. You can't change the answers. That's kind of like what tax prep is, where you hand your last year's tax information to your CPA, and they grade it and tell you how much you owe, right? So on the other hand, what we're really good at, and I really enjoy, is tax planning. I'm a basketball coach. I love sports. And when I was coaching basketball, I loved the whole planning and strategizing part. And I'm one of those coaches that would be up at 5 in the morning scouting the other team on their videos and, oh yeah, we can do this. We can beat them here. We can use this strategy, you know. So I've just taken that into the office and with our clients, with the tax planning. And so planning is that strategizing, having a plan in place before the game starts, right? Instead of, like you said, tax prep is kind of looking through the rear view mirror. What's gone is gone, what's done is done. You can't really change it.
Right.
But tax planning is being proactive, looking through the windshield so you can anticipate things and make adjustments. And it's really just strategizing and having a plan.
Right, and looking ahead to the future. You know, I've heard it said, another good analogy is that when you're engaging in tax preparation, it's almost like you're an archaeologist, right? Because to your point, you're looking in the past, you're seeing what happened last year. Okay, how can we save on what's already occurred? But what you guys do as strategic tax planners is you're architects. You're able to build financial plans that can look ahead to the future to help someone reduce their tax bill over the rest of their life. That's what you do for folks, right?
Right. And so the way we do that is, first you kind of have to understand the landscape, right? If you're an archaeologist or an architect, you have to understand where you're working. And most of you people out there have qualified accounts, and that's the landscape that we're working on now. And those are 401ks, IRAs, TSPs, things of that nature. So in those accounts, every dollar has an invisible tax attached to it. A lot of people don't understand that, but the government wants their share, right? You contribute, you get the tax break now, but you pay taxes later.
Right.
So that's the ground we're operating in. That's the
landscape.
The landscape.
Yep.
Anyway, so it's important because there is something that you can do about it today. There's a plan that you can put a plan in place. There's tons of strategies out there that we can utilize, and that's what we say all the time. It's important to work with a firm that is independent, because if you go to a big box firm, they are limited to what they can offer you, right? But when you work with an independent firm, they can offer you the full range of strategies of the financial space.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because a lot of times if you go work with a bigger corporate firm, their people are told that they're not allowed to engage in this type of strategic tax planning. You're going to be told, oh, go talk to your CPA, or you have to go elsewhere. So this is what I love, is that you guys tackle this head on for your clients, because it is in folks' best interest to make sure they're engaging in strategic tax planning. Talk a little bit too, Shawn, about where we are as a nation and why the time is now to really get in front of this tax issue.
Yeah, believe it or not, tax rates are actually pretty low right now. We're actually in the third lowest tax bracket environment in our country's history. Back in World War II, guess what the top tax rate was?
94%.
94%. Yep. And I'm always reminded of a story of Ronald Reagan. You know, before he was president, he was an actor.
Yep.
And he used to kind of get irritated because he would do these big movies, and there was one particular movie that paid him $1 million, and he said he got taxed 90% of his income.
Right.
You know, so he was like, I'm filming these movies for 10 cents on the dollar.
Right.
That was the tax rate back then. So I know we're getting taxed coming and going in today's society, but taxes are pretty low right now from a historical perspective.
Right, which I think is shocking for a lot of folks, because I think most people watching are going, wait a second, seriously? I feel like I'm taxed to death on everything. So this is a really interesting point to make, that, okay, we are in the third lowest tax brackets that we've been in the history of our country, which means the time to take action on some of these tax saving strategies is now, right?
Yeah, I mean, we always ask people, would they rather pay more to the government or less? Like we say, pay less to the IRS.
Yep.
And like we said, there's a number of different ways to accomplish this, but it's really boiled down to, what does your situation look like? Not everybody's going to have the same plans. We can't put into effect the same strategies we did for client A as we did for client B, right? And one of the main strategies that we like is Roth conversions. And all that really is taking your qualified accounts, 401ks, IRAs, and converting them from taxable to non-taxable using a process called Roth conversion. It's very simple to do. For example, if you had $100,000 in one of these accounts, on that, if your tax bracket was 22%, you owe $22,000 in taxes, right? So what we're saying is, pay the taxes now while the rates are low.
Right.
And then after that, all growth is tax-free, all distributions are tax-free, RMDs go away, inheritance tax goes away, your beneficiaries won't have to pay tax. You know, it's just getting them out of your pockets now.
Right.
Yeah, pay the tax when you choose to pay the tax, not when the government forces you in the form of required minimum distributions at age 73.
Down the road, right? Because all these qualified accounts you're talking about, another name for them is tax deferred.
Exactly.
Meaning that the tax has not been paid on this money yet, but you will have to pay it down the road. And it's never a fun thing about going ahead and paying taxes, right? I mean, that's a hard thing to stomach. I think that's why with Roth conversion, sometimes folks are like, oh, I don't want to do this, because when I do the conversion, I'm going to have to pay tax on that money. But this is something that you systematically and strategically help people do to help them over the long haul pay less, right?
Exactly, and you hit on a very important point, Kristen, that a lot of people, they understand the Roth conversion, but they hold back because I don't want to see my account value, in Tyler's example, go from $100,000 to $78,000 to pay the tax.
Right.
So another unique situation that's going on now is we're in a low tax environment, but also interest rates are pretty high. And so what's happening is, I'm sure people out there have gotten postcards in the mail recently. We hear it all the time from banks. Hey, deposit $10,000 with us for 90 days and we're going to give you a $500 bonus, right? Well, if banks are doing that, do you think there might be other institutions that are doing a better job than that? So what I would look for with these Roth conversions is a high bonus index account where the bonus that the company gives you just by parking your money there, because your money's got to sit somewhere, right? In the bank or in a brokerage account, wherever. Look for the accounts out there that are going to give you the most bang for your buck and benefit you the most. not the IRS, not your kids, not your ex-wife. Like we joke about, everyone's got a plan for your money.
Right.
But a lot of times it's just knowing the right account out there. And that's what we're really excited. Like you said, a lot of people understand the Roth conversion, don't want to do it. But with these high bonus accounts out there that a lot of institutions, and there's tons of them out there, they're offering, we can show folks how those bonuses will in effect offset the taxes.
Yes.
So just by moving it from one account to another, we show you how to go from taxable to tax-free in the Roth IRA and get someone else to pay the taxes for you.
That's so awesome. And I know that people watching right now are going, yes, I want to know how to do this for myself. Talk a little bit about the complimentary written financial plan that you offer and how you'll be able to help them figure out the right tax planning strategies for their situation when they come in to meet with you.
Yeah, so we're big believers on you gotta have a plan for your retirement. Most people come in with a POS, as we call it, pile of statements. That's not a plan.
Right.
And that's really all that people have when they come in. It's very rare that someone comes in with a well-organized financial plan. And a lot of times that stops people from calling. Well, I want to get organized before I go see Shawn and Tyler. Guess what? We will help you get organized and organize your statements, your withdrawal strategies, your tax efficient strategies, all of that stuff in a well-organized written plan. And we're big believers in that. Give us a call to get your complimentary written financial plan.
Awesome. Shawn, Tyler, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, this is for no cost, no charge, and no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how Shawn and Tyler and the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement can help and serve you. But you have to reach out, and that number to call to schedule your complimentary written financial plan is there for you on the bottom of your screen, 877-697-6236. Or if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more of the key risks you need to be aware of and paying attention to for your retirement right after this.
Out of college, I started working for my parents, who are real estate developers in Albuquerque and Los Lunas. Did that for about 15 years. But I had a friend from high school that was in the financial services industry, and he would always tell me, hey Shawn, you would be really good at this, you should check it out. So finally I ended up getting into the business about 2003. I just originally started just selling life insurance, and then it just kind of progressed from there to other products and services. I didn't really like working for a large firm because I realized pretty quickly I was only able to offer people what the products and services that company had. And so that's when I decided to go independent, and talking to other advisors and that said that was kind of the way to go. That way we can offer anything that's out there to the people we're sitting in front of. Starting my own firm was challenging, just like any business. There's things you learn along the way, obstacles, challenges. But I've aligned myself with some nationwide groups of advisors that help coach me, mentor me through the process, people that have been through the process before of exactly what I'm trying to do as far as building a business. So that was a great help to not be doing it alone. But it's been a fun ride, and I believe we're just getting started.
Well, welcome back. You're watching Wealthy Living New Mexico. I'm Kristen Oakley here with both Shawn and Tyler from Kiehne Wealth and Retirement. We're so glad you're joining us today. If you're just tuning in, we just spent a lot of time talking about tax risk, which is a top risk that a lot of retirees are concerned about. But the reality is there's so many other key risks that are there. But here's the good news. If you are proactive and you get in front of these and you have a plan built for you to help you navigate those, that can make all the difference in the success of your retirement. And so the next risk we want to talk about, guys, is the fact that we are living longer than we ever have before. And I think of the amazing woman, Elizabeth Francis. She was in Houston, Texas. She did pass away last year at the age of 115. But the crazy thing about that story was she was living with her daughter, who was 95 years old. I mean, talk about longevity, right? I'm sure we all know people who have lived well into their 90s, into their 100s. And longevity, with that though, comes the real fear and risk of running out of money. And this is, I know, a top concern that a lot of folks have when they come in to meet with you.
Definitely, and that reminds me of, we see it every day in our office. You know, the demographic of our clients is retirees and pre-retirees, but people are living longer, and we see people come into the office every day that are 80 years old, and they look much younger than they are. They look great, they look healthy, and so people are definitely living longer. And I like to think about what retirement was years ago. It was work 30, 40 years for the same company, retire, get the cliche, the gold watch,
Yes.
have a little retirement party, and your company pension was going to take care of you, right? But now only 18% of people have pensions, and so it's stressful. The retirement is now on the retirees. It's their responsibility. It's not the big company you worked for in the past that had those pensions. So if you're out there and it's, you know, feeling kind of stressed and overwhelmed by this, it's fine. We see it a lot, and that's what we're here for. Is like, we tell people, how many times have you done something for the first time in your life and you nail it, you get it right the very first time you try it, right? Not very often.
Right.
This is your retirement. You're going to just plan your retirement, just one retirement. We've planned hundreds of retirements. We love it. We live and breathe this stuff. It's what we do. But going back to the longevity thing, a lot of people's big fear is running out of money.
Yes. Yep. And rightly so.
Exactly. And so what's the time-tested strategy that people use? Oh, just take 4% out of your 401k or IRA. It's called the 4% rule.
Yeah, that rule of thumb that really doesn't work anymore,
rule of thumb that may have worked well 20, 30, 40 years ago, but doesn't work as well in today's environment.
Yeah.
So we always ask people when we first meet with you, what does it cost you to be you? What do you need as far as income every month to be comfortable? Not to just scrimp by. You know, we want you to retire from your job, not your lifestyle. So having a guaranteed income plan is really what we call the foundation of our retirement plans. If we can get you a rock solid income plan that doesn't depend on the market, that the market tanks, you're good, you're getting your, we call it paychecks, you're getting your paychecks, you know, every month, come rain or shine. A lot of the other planning is easy once we get that in place. So we have guaranteed income plans that are guaranteed for life so that you will not run out of money.
Right, and that brings such peace of mind to folks because, of course, we know that the number one fear of most retirees is running out of money. And longevity complicates this. It's almost like that's the big domino risk. That's the risk that affects all the others, right? Because not only the longer we live, the longer our money has to last, but the longer we live, our chances for needing some type of long-term care or having increased health care costs also go up. So can you speak to that and how you help your clients plan for that important piece?
Yeah, absolutely. Long-term care is one of those potholes in the road that people don't plan for. And the reason is they don't like to talk about it.
Right.
You don't want to talk about your funeral or anything like that. And you don't want to talk about having to go live in a facility or have somebody come live with you because you can't take care of yourself. But unfortunately, the government tells us that 70% of us will need some type of care at some point, right? And a lot of people don't understand that the average cost for long-term care right now is anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 a month. That will drain your savings and any of the accounts you might have very quickly.
Right, right.
And it all comes back to having a plan. If you haven't planned for this, you're going to get wrecked.
Yes.
Yep.
But a good income plan will cover those costs for you. It will have an income doubler on there that'll help you with these costs and stretch your money out for as long as possible, guaranteed, without the uncertainty of the market, without the uncertainty of knowing if you're going to have to take the care or not, you know? And it just comes back to having the right plan, using the right accounts.
Yep.
We tell people all the time, whatever you did for 20 years of your life, whatever your profession was, you know way more about that than we ever will. You're a professional. We plan retirements. That's what we do. We know the rules and the tools to win the game on your behalf. And we just try to get people to understand. There's advice out there. There's advisors out there that will put a plan in place for you, just like this, whether it's us or somebody else. Make sure you work with somebody who knows the rules and the tools to be able to secure exactly what you need in your retirement.
No, so well said. And then there's a host of other risks that we don't even have time to get into today, but I know that this is also combated by longevity, right?
Yeah, definitely some of the other risks are inflation, and we've seen a lot of that the last few years. A lot of people have too much risk going on in their portfolios. They're paying too many fees, a lot of hidden fees they don't know about. So there's a lot of risks out there for sure.
Right. So now that we've properly scared everybody, right, I can feel the tension through the screen. The good news is we have solutions for you. What would you say to someone who's going, yes, this resonates with me. I'm concerned about all these risks. I want to have a plan in place to help navigate through them. What would you say?
Yeah, I would simply say that I'm a football player, right? So I like to think of everything in those same terms. But we are all playing the game of money. Whether you like it or not, you have to. Your money has to sit in an account, whether it's your bank account or in an annuity. It has to be somewhere. And so the point is, we're all playing this same game. And like I said, whatever you did for your life, you know exactly how to do that. We plan retirements. We know the potholes in the road and how to navigate through that in advance so that you don't end up with a flat tire pulled over on the side of the road. So work with somebody who can look ahead and innovate your plan, your situation to benefit you, your goals, your expenses, you know, your lifestyle. Work with somebody who will get you that guaranteed.
And I know you all would love to be able to be that person for folks who
Of
need
course.
that resource. So Tyler, Shawn, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, you don't have to go it alone. Again, you don't have to be an expert in any of these things. You just get to be an expert in you. And then the team of Kiehne Wealth and Retirement will come alongside you and build you your very own comprehensive, holistic financial plan. But you have to reach out. So that number to call to schedule your complimentary written financial plan is 877-697-6236. Or again, if you'd rather connect online, simply scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We'll be back with more right after this.
My first name's Tyler, my last name is Kiehne, and I'm a financial consultant here at Kiehne Wealth. I played football, so I'm a very competitive person, and I see the market in the same type of way. It always just piqued my interest as the big game, you know, and also just seeing the amount of people that my dad has helped and being able to do both helping people and also the financial space is just, it's a perfect mix for me. Because I love the finance world, I love the stock market. I think a lot of people appreciate working with the father and son because they know that this is a family business. I'm really excited for just the expansion, the new horizons that we're getting to see. I mean, we're taking this to whole new heights that it's never been to before. And with that, we get to help a lot more people and do a lot more of what we like to do.
Welcome back to Wealthy Living New Mexico, where today we have been talking about the importance of tax planning for your retirement, and we've been addressing some of the top concerns that we know pre-retirees and retirees are facing today. We know that if you have some of these same concerns, you are not alone. And real quick, guys, there was a recent study that was done. It was a modern retirement study, and it showed that nearly 1/3 of older Americans believe that they will outlive their money for all the reasons that we just stated earlier. And this is really heartbreaking because we know here at this desk that with a solid plan in place, that those worries, those concerns can be mitigated and, you know, relieved. So this is what's interesting. I know you see this day in and day out, right? Folks come in and worried. Talk about the transformation that occurs when you're able to build those plans for them.
Right, and worry, doubt, fear of the future, all that comes from is lack of preparation. That's what it is. That's what our coach always taught us. He hammered it to us. If you're prepared, you'll go into the game confident because you know there's nothing they can throw at you that you haven't seen before, either mentally or on film. And so if you're feeling worried or scared about your situation, I would challenge the fact that you don't have a plan. So in order to address that, you need to get a plan in place. And you don't just want a cookie cutter plan.
Right.
You don't want something vague or something, you know, that you could read on an article online. You want something that fits your specific situation.
Yes. Yeah.
And so work with somebody who can tailor fit that plan to exactly what you need.
Like I said, we're not cookies to be cut, right? So
Exactly.
no cookie cutter approach here. But I'm curious, once you've completed a written plan for someone, how often are folks actually surprised to find out that they're going to be okay, that maybe they're better off than they thought they were?
All the time, and the reaction we get from folks, Kristen, is you can see it in their body language. It's just kind of like, now I've got a plan. I know I'm going to be okay. You know, and that's really important. Like I always tell people, you know, don't stress out about this stuff. In all areas of our lives, we use advisors. Like if we have a legal issue, who do we call? An attorney, right? Call an advisor. Sit down with an advisor that knows the rules and tools of how to put that plan in place for you. But the main reaction we get is just relief and peace of mind. And a lot of times we get, oh, I didn't know we could do this, or the strategy you guys told us about, we've never heard of that before. And again, that goes to the fact that work with an advisor that's a fiduciary, that's working in your best interest and is independent, because we have access to so many more tools and strategies than someone that's beholden to a big corporate company. We're an agency, we're independent, and that's who we believe people should work with, is a fiduciary and someone that's independent.
We also find that a lot of times people have done very well for themselves. Not every time, but it happens. People come in and they're doing great. You know, they have enough money, they have their income down, they have a lot of things in place, but there's just a few little tweaks that you could make that would save them money on taxes, or even get them more. You know, there's a lot of details that get passed over that if you read the fine print and kind of adjust it accordingly, it might even be like a % of degree change. You know, you've heard that, where a plane going one way, you shift the degree to the right one and it lands in a completely different spot. So there's a lot of things you could do.
Yes, so I think the takeaway is it's so valuable to make sure you're on track, but don't let fear keep you from finding out these things, right? It's so much better to get in front of it. So Shawn, Tyler, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, we encourage you to reach out and schedule your complimentary written financial plan today. 877-697-6236 is the number to call, or again, you're welcome to scan that QR code. That will get you connected that way as well. We look forward to being back with you next time here on Wealthy Living New Mexico. Thanks for watching.